Heads. 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 Heads.
There's an art to the building up of suspense.
Heads.
Though it can be done by luck alone.
Heads.
If that's the word I'm after.
'76 love.
A weaker man might be moved to re-examine his faith. If in nothing else, at least in the law of probability.
Heads. Heads. Heads.
The law of probability, it has been oddly asserted, has something to do with the proposition that if six monkeys
Game.
were they?
Are you?
Game. The law of averages, if I've got this right, means that if 6 monkeys were thrown up in the air for long enough, they would land on their tails about as often as they would land
Heads.
on theirs. Which, even at first glance, does not strike one as a particularly rewarding speculation, in either sense, even without the monkeys. I mean, you wouldn't bet on it. I mean,
Heads.
I would, but you wouldn't. Would you?
Heads. 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 Getting a bit of a bore, isn't it?
A bore?
What? Well, I mean,
What about the suspense?
what suspense?
Must be the law of diminishing returns. I feel the spell about to be broken. Well, it was an even chance, if my calculations are correct.
85 in a row. Beating the record.
Don't be absurd.
Easily.
Is that it then? Is that all?
What?
A new record? Is that as far as you're prepared to go?
Well...
No questions, not even a pause?
Well, you spun them yourself.
Not a flicker of doubt?
But I won, didn't I?
And if you lost, they come up against you 85 times, one after another, just like that.
85 in a row. The tails.
Yes. What would you think?
Well, I have a good look at your coins for a start.
I'm relieved. At least we can still count on self-interest as a predictable factor. I suppose the last to go. Your capacity for trust had made me wonder if perhaps you alone... Touch. We have been spinning coins together. This is not the first time we've spun coins.
No, we've been spinning coins for as long as I can remember.
And how long is that?
I forget. Mind you, 85 times.
Yes?
It'll take some beating, I imagine.
Is that what you imagine? Is that it? No, fear.
Fear.
Fear! The crack that might flood your brain with light.
Heads. 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 I'm a
afraid?
So am I.
I'm afraid it isn't your day.
I'm afraid it is.
89.
It must be indicative of something, besides the redistribution of wealth. List of possible explanations. 1. I'm willing. Inside where nothing shows, I am the essence of a man, spinning double-headed coins and betting against himself in private atonement for an unremembered past.
Heads.
2. Time has stopped dead, and the single experience of one coin being spun once has been repeated 90 times. On the whole, doubtful. 3. Divine intervention. That is to say, a good turn from above concerning him, see children of Israel. Or retribution from above concerning me, see Lot's wife. 4. A spectacular vindication of the principle that each individual coin, spun individually, is as likely to come up heads as tails and should cause no particular surprise each individual time it does.
I've never known anything like it.
And a syllogism. 1. He has never known anything like it. 2. He has never known anything to write home about. 3. It is nothing to write home about. Home. What's the first thing you remember?
The first thing that comes to my head, you mean?
No, the first thing you remember.
Ah. No, it's no good. It was a long time ago.
You don't take my meaning. What's the first thing after all the things you've forgotten?
Ah. I've forgotten the question.
Are you happy?
What?
Content? At ease?
I suppose so.
What are you going to do now?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I have no desires. None. There was a messenger. That's right, we were sent for. Syllogism the second. 1. Probability is a factor which operates within natural forces. 2. Probability is not operating as a factor. 3. We are now within sub, or supernatural forces. Discuss. Not too heatedly.
I'm sorry. What's the matter with you?
The scientific approach to the examination of phenomena is a defense against the pure emotion of fear. Keep tight hold and continue while there's time. Now, counter to the previous syllogism. Tricky one, following carefully, it may prove a comfort. If we postulate, and we just have, that within sub, or supernatural forces, the probability is that the law of probability will not operate as a factor, then we must accept that the probability of the first part will not operate as a factor. In which case, the law of probability will operate as a factor within sub, or supernatural forces. And since it obviously hasn't been doing so, we can take it that we are not held within sub, or supernatural forces after all. In all probability, that is. Which is a great relief to me personally. Which is all well and good except that a messenger arrived. We had been sent for. Nothing else happened. 92 coins spun consecutively have come up heads 92 consecutive times, and for the last 3 minutes, on the wind of a windless day, I have heard the sounds of drums and flute.
Another curious scientific phenomenon is that the fingernails grow after death, as does the beard.
What?
Beard!
But you're not dead.
I never said they started to grow after death. The fingernails also grow before birth, though not the beard.
What?
Beard! What's the matter with you? The toenails, on the other hand, never grow at all.
The toenails, on the other hand, never grow at all.
Do they? You know, it's a curious thing. I cut my fingernails all the time, and every time I think to cut them, they need cutting. Now, for instance. And yet, to the best of my knowledge, I never cut my toenails. They ought to be curled under my feet by now, but it doesn't happen. I never think about them. Perhaps I cut them absentmindedly when I'm thinking of something else.
What's the first thing you remember happening today?
I woke up, I said, I've got it now. That man, a foreigner, he woke us up.
A messenger.
That's it. Pale sky before dawn. A man standing on his saddle. The bang on the shutters shouts, "What's all the row about? Clear off!" Remember that? A man woke us up and he called our names.
Yes.
We were sent for.
Yes.
That's why we're here. Traveling.
practically starting from scratch. Yeah, an awakening, a man standing on a saddle to bang on the shutters, a message, a summons, our names shouted in a certain dawn, a new record for heads and tails. We have not been picked out simply to be abandoned, set loose to find our own way. We are entitled to some direction. I would have thought.
I say.
Yes?
I can hear. I thought I heard music.
Yes.
Like a band.
Yes.
Drums. Couldn't have been real.
The colors red, blue, and green are real. The color yellow is a mystical experience shared by everyone. Demolished.
It must have been thunder, like drums.
A man, breaking his journey between one place and another at a third place of no name, character, population, or significance, sees a unicorn cross his path and disappear. Yeah. That in itself is startling, but there are precedents for mystical encounters of various kinds, or to be less extreme, a choice of persuasions to put it down too fancy, until, my God, says a second man, I must be dreaming, I thought I saw a unicorn. At which point a dimension is added that makes the experience as alarming as it will ever be. Yeah, a third witness, you understand, has no further dimension, but only spreads it thinner. And a fourth thinner still, and the more witnesses there are, the thinner it gets and the more reasonable it becomes until it is as thin as reality. That name we give to the common experience. Look, look, recites the crowd, a horse with an arrow in its forehead. It must have been mistaken for a deer.
I knew all along it was a band.
He knew all along it was a band.
Here they come.
I'm sorry it wasn't a unicorn. It would have been nice to have unicorns.
Halt! An audience! Perfect, don't move! A lucky thing we came along.
And what's that?
Why, we grow rusty and you catch us at the very point of decadence. By this time tomorrow, we might have forgotten everything we knew. That's the thought, isn't it? We'd be back where we started, improvising.
Tumblers, are you?
We can give you a tumble if that's your taste, and times being what they are. Otherwise, for a jingle of a coin, we can do you a selection of glorious romances, full of fine cadence and corpses pirated from the Italian. And it doesn't take much to make a jingle. Even a single coin has music in it. Tragedians, at your command.
Oh, well, my name is Guildenstern, and this is Rosencrantz. I'm sorry, his name is Guildenstern, and I'm Rosencrantz.
A pleasure. We played a beggar, of course. The quality counts for something. I recognized you at once.
And who are we?
As fellow artists.
I thought we were gentlemen.
For some it is performance, and for others, patronage. They're two sides of the same coin, or, let us say, being as there are so many of us, the same side of two coins.
Aye, and what is your line?
Tragedy, sir. Deaths and disclosures, universal in particular. Denouements both unexpected and inexorable. Transvestite melodrama on all levels, including the suggestive. We transport you to a world of intrigue and illusion. Clowns, if you like. Murderers. We can do you ghosts and battles on the skirmish front. Heroes, villains, tormented lovers, set pieces in the poetic vein. We can do you rapiers or rape or both by all means. Faithless wives and ravished virgins, Flagrante delicto at a price. That comes under realism for which there are special terms. Getting warm, am I?
Oh, well, I don't know.
It costs a little to watch and a little more if you haven't get caught up in the action, if that's your taste, and times being what they are.
And what are they?
Indifferent.
Oh, bad.
Wicked. Now what precisely is your pleasure? Gentlemen, disport yourselves. There. See anything you like?
What do they do?
Let your imagination run riot. They are beyond a surprise.
And how much?
To take part?
Oh, to watch.
Watch what?
A private performance.
How private?
Oh, there's two of us. Is that enough?
For an audience, disappointing. For voyeurs, about average.
What's the difference?
5 guilders.
5 guilders?
Each.
Together?
Each, I don't don't think you understand.
What are you saying?
What am I saying for?
Where have you been?
Roundabout. Nest of Children carries the costume to the town. Juvenile companies, they are the fashion. They cannot match our repertoire. We'll stoop to anything if that's your bent.
They'll grow up.
There's one born every minute. Onward!
Where are you going?
Home, sir.
Where from?
Home! We're traveling people. We take our chances where we find them.
It was chance then?
Chance?
You found it.
Oh, yes.
You were looking?
Oh, no.
Chance then.
Or fate.
Yours or
We
ours?
could hardly be one without the other.
Fate then.
Oh, yes. We have no control. Tonight you play to the court, or the night after, or to the tavern, or not.
Perhaps I can use my influence.
At the tavern.
At the court, I would say I have some influence.
Would you say so?
I have influence, yeah?
Yet what?
I have influence. You said something about getting caught up in the action.
I did! You're quicker than your friend. Now, for a handful of guilders, I happen to have a private and uncut performance of the rape of the Sabine women. Or rather, woman. Or rather, Alfred. Get your skirt on, Alfred! And for 8, you can participate, taking either part or both for 10, with encores. Get your skirt off, Alfred!
It didn't have to be obscene. It could have been a bird out of season, dropping bright feathered on my shoulder. It could have been a tongueless dwarf standing on the side of the road to point the way. I was prepared. But it's this, is it? No enigma, no dignity, nothing classical, portentous, just this. A comic pornographer and a rabble of prostitutes.
You should have caught us in better times. We were purists then. Onward!
Excuse me.
Huh? Alfred,
So you're not exclusively players then?
we're inclusively players, sir.
So you give exhibitions.
Performances, sir.
Times being what they are.
Yes.
There's more money in that, is there?
And there's more trade, sir.
Ah, it's indifferent.
Yes, completely.
You know, I had no idea.
No.
Well, I mean, I've heard of, but I've never actually seen
No!
it. I mean, what exactly do you do?
We keep to our usual stuff, only inside out. We do on stage the things that are supposed to happen off, which is a kind of integrity if you look on every exit being an entrance somewhere else.
I'm not really the kind of man who... Oh, don't worry off. Sit down and tell us some of the things people ask you to do.
On!
Just a minute! I wouldn't mind seeing just an idea of the kinds... All right. What will you do for that?
On! What are you playing at?
Phil! Oh, disgusting! I'll report you to the authorities, you perverts! Well, I know your game all right, and it's all filth!
Do you like a bet?
What kind of bet did you have in mind?
Double or quits.
Well, heads.
Again? Heads. Again.
Heads.
Heads.
Tails.
Heads.
No! They don't like the odds.
You were right. Heads. Heads, I win.
No!
Right again. Heads, I win.
No!
And right again. Heads, I win.
No!
Would you believe it? Bet me the year my birth doubled is an odd number.
Your birth.
If you don't trust me, don't bet with me.
Would you trust me?
Bet me then.
My birth.
Odd numbers, you win.
You're on.
Good. Year of your birth, double it. Even numbers I win, odd numbers I lose.
We have no money.
Then what have you got? Was it up for this?
It's the best we got.
Then the times are bad indeed. The very air stinks. Come here, Alfred. Do you lose often?
Yes, sir.
Then what could you have left to lose?
Nothing, sir.
Do you like being an actor?
No, sir.
You and I, Alfred, we could create a dramatic precedent here. Come, Alfred. This is no way to fill the theaters of Europe. Do you know any good plays?
Plays?
Exhibitions.
You said you were actors.
Well, we are. We are. But there hasn't been much call.
You lost. Well then, one of the Greeks, perhaps? You're familiar with the tragedies of antiquity, are you? The great homicide classics, Matry, Pratry, Fratry, Sorority, Uxorine, it goes without saying, suicidal. Maidens aspiring to Godhead.
And vice versa.
Your kind of thing, is it?
Well, no. I can't say it is, really. We're more the blood, love, and rhetoric school.
Well, I'll leave the choice to you if there's anything to choose between.
They're hardly divisible, sir. Well, I can do you the blood and the love without the rhetoric, and I can do you the rhetoric and the blood without the love. And I can do you all three concurrent or consecutive. But I cannot do you the rhetoric and the love without the blood. Blood is compulsory. They're all blood, you see.
Is that what people want?
It's what we do.
Thank you. We'll let you know.
Entrance is there and there.
Aren't you going to get into costume?
I am in costume.
Always in character.
That's it.
Aren't you going to come on?
I am on.
But you can't come on if you are on, can you?
I start on.
But it hasn't started yet. Go on. We'll look out for you.
I'll give you a wave.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Come on.
I say, that was lucky.
What?
It was tails.
Come on.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we did much long to see you. The need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation, so call it, sith nor the exterior nor the inward man resembles that it was, what it should be more than his father's death, that thus hath put him so far from the understanding of himself I cannot dream of. I entreat you both, that being of so young days brought up with him, and sit so neighbored in his youth and behavior, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time, so, by your companies, to draw him on to pleasures, and to gather so much as from occasion you may glean, whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that opened lies within our remedy.
Good gentlemen, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am two men there is not living to whom he more adheres. If it should please you to show us so much gentry and goodwill as to expend your time with us a while for the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
But we both obey, and here give up ourselves in the full bent to lay our services freely at your feet to be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz. And I do beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son. Go, some of you, and bring these men where Hamlet is.
Heaven make our presence and our practice, heaven present and helpful to him.
Aye, amen.
The ambassadors from Norway, my good lord, are joyfully returned.
Thou still hast been the father of good news.
Have I, my lord? Assure you, my liege, I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to my God and to my gracious king. And I do think, or else this brain of mine hunts not the trail of policy so well as it has used to, that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
I want to go home.
Don't let them confuse you.
I'm out of my step here.
We'll soon be home and high.
Over my death.
Dry and home. I'll
Out of my step.
I'll hie you home and
Over my step, over my head, over my body. It's all,
Dry you.
I tell you, it's all stuffing to a death. It's all boating to a death. It's all stepping to a head. It's all heading to a dead stop.
There. Hasn't it ever happened to you that suddenly and for no reason at all you haven't the faintest idea how to spell the word wife or house? Because when you write it down, you just can't ever remember ever having seen those letters in that order before.
I remember.
Yes,
I remember when there were no questions.
there are always questions. To exchange one set for another is no great matter.
Answers, yes, there are answers to everything.
You've forgotten.
I haven't forgotten how I used to remember my name and yours. Oh yes, there were answers everywhere you looked. People knew who I was, and if they didn't, they asked, and I told them.
You did. The trouble is, each of them is plausible without being instinctive. All your life, you live so close to truth it becomes a permanent blur in the corner of your eye, and when something nudges it into outline, it is left being ambushed by a grotesque. A man standing on his saddle in the half-lit, half-alive dawn banged on the shutters and called two names. He was just a hat and cloak, levitating in the great plume of his own breath. But when he called, we came. That much is certain. We came.
Well, I can tell you I'm sick to death of it. I don't care one way or another, so why don't you just make up your mind?
We can't afford anything quite so arbitrary. Nor did we come all this way for a christening. All that preceded us. But we are comparatively fortunate. We might have been left to sift the whole field of human nomenclature, like two blind men looting a bazaar for their own portraits. At least we are presented with alternatives.
Well, so now,
But not choice.
you made me look ridiculous in there.
I look just as ridiculous as you did.
I want to go home. Which way do we come in? I've lost my sense of direction.
The only beginning is birth, and the only end is death. If you can't count on that, what can you count on?
We don't owe anything to anyone.
We've been cut up. Your smallest action sets off another somewhere else and is set off by it. Keep an eye open, an ear cocked. Tread warily, follow instructions. We'll be all right.
Well, what do we have to go on?
We have been briefed. Hamlet's transformation. What do you recollect?
Well, he's changed, hasn't he? The exterior and inward man fails to resemble
Draw him onto pleasures, glean what afflicts him.
something more than his father's death.
He's always talking about us. There are no two people living whom he dotes on more than us.
We seek him out and cheer him up. What's the matter?
Exactly. It's a matter of asking the right questions and giving away as little as we can. It's a game.
And then we can go?
And receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
I like the sound of that. What do you think he means by remembrance?
He doesn't forget his friends.
Would you care to estimate?
Difficult to say, really. Most kings tend to be amnesiac, others the opposite, whatever that is.
Yes, but...
Elephantine?
Not how long, but how much.
Retentive. He's a very retentive king, a royal retainer.
What are you playing?
Words, they're all we have to go on.
Shouldn't we be doing something constructive?
What do you have in mind? A short, blunt human pyramid?
We could go.
Where?
After him.
Why? It got us placed now. If we go after him, we'll just be chasing each other all night.
Huh. Very intriguing. I feel like a spectator in a appalling business. The only thing that makes it bearable is the irrational belief that somebody interesting may come on in a minute.
See anyone?
No, you?
No? What a fine persecution. To be kept intrigued without ever quite being enlightened. We've had no practice.
Oh, we can play questions.
What good would that do?
Practice.
Statement 1, love.
Cheating.
How?
I haven't started yet.
Statement 2, love.
Are you counting that?
What?
Are you counting that?
Foul, no repetition, 3, love, first game.
I'm not going to play if you're going to be like that.
Who's served?
Huh?
Foul, no grunts, love 1.
Who's go?
Why?
Why not?
What for?
Foul. No synonyms. 1 all.
What in God's name is going on?
Foul. No rhetoric. 2-1.
What does it all add up to?
Can't you guess?
Are you addressing me?
Is there anyone else?
Who?
How would I know?
Why do you ask?
Are you serious?
Was that rhetoric?
No.
Statement 2, all game point.
What's the matter with you today?
When?
What?
Are you deaf?
Am I dead?
Yes or no?
Is there a
Is
choice?
there a God?
Foul. No non sequiturs. 3-2-1 game all.
What's your name?
What's yours?
I ask you first.
Statement. 1 love.
What's your name when you're at home?
What's yours?
When I'm at home?
Is it different at home?
What home?
Haven't you got one?
Why do you ask?
What are you driving at?
What's your name?
A repetition. 2-1. Match point to me.
Who do you think you are?
Rhetoric. Game and match. Where's it going to end?
That's the question. Rosencrantz.
What?
There! How was that?
Clever.
Natural.
Instinctive.
Got it in your head?
I take my hat off. to
Shake
you.
hands.
And now I'll do you. Guildenstern.
Not yet. Catch me unawares.
Right. Ready?
Don't be stupid.
Sorry.
Guildenstern.
What?
Consistency is all I ask.
Who was that?
Didn't you know him?
You didn't know me.
He didn't see you.
I didn't see him.
We shall see. I hardly know him. He's changed.
See that?
Transformed.
How do you know?
Inside and out.
I see.
He's not himself.
He's changed.
I can see that. Glean what afflicts him.
Me?
Him!
How?
Question and answer. The old ways are the best ways.
He's afflicted.
You question, I'll answer.
He's not himself, you know.
I'm him, you see?
Who am I then?
You're yourself.
And he's you.
Not a bit of it.
Are you afflicted?
That's the idea. Are you ready?
Oh, let's go back a bit.
I'm afflicted.
I see.
Glean what afflicts me.
Right.
Question and answer.
How should I begin?
Address me.
My dear Guildenstern!
You've forgotten, haven't you?
My dear Rosencrantz!
I don't think you quite understand what we are attempting here is a hypothesis in which I answer for him while you ask me questions.
Ready?
You know what to do.
What?
Are you stupid? Pardon? Are you deaf?
Did you speak?
Oh,
Statement.
not now! Perhaps he'll come back this way.
Should we go?
Why?
Oh, you mean you pretend to be him while I ask you questions.
Very good.
You had me confused.
I can see I had.
How should I begin?
Address me.
My honored lord!
My dear Rosencrantz.
Now, am I pretending to be you then?
Certainly not. If you like, shall we continue?
Question and answer.
Right.
Right. My honored lord!
My dear fellow.
How are you?
Afflicted.
Really, in what way?
Transformed.
Inside or out?
Both.
I see. Not much new there.
Detail. Get delve. Probe the background. Establish the situation.
So your uncle is the king of Denmark?
And my father before him.
His father before him?
No, my father before him.
But surely.
You might well ask.
Let me get this straight. Your father is king, you are his son, his only son, and your father dies, you are of age, and your uncle becomes king.
Yes.
Unorthodox.
Undid me.
Undeniable. Where were you then?
Germany.
Usurpation.
He slipped in.
Which reminds me.
Well, it would.
I don't want to be personal.
It's common knowledge.
Your mother's marriage.
He slipped in.
His body was still warm.
So is hers.
Extraordinary.
Indecent.
Hasty.
Suspicious.
Makes you think.
Don't think I haven't thought of it.
Your husband's brother?
They were close.
She went to
Too
it.
close.
Comfort.
It looks bad.
Adds up.
Incest to adultery.
Would you go so far?
Never.
To sum up, your father is king. You were his only heir, your father dies, you come back to find that Harley was a corpse cold before his young brother popped onto the throne and into the sheets of fighting both legal and natural practice. And now why exactly are you behaving in this extraordinary manner?
I can't imagine. But all that is well-known common property. Yet he sent for us, and we did come.
I say, I can hear...
We're here.
I thought I heard music.
Rosencrantz.
What?
Guildenstern.
What?
Don't discriminate at all.
What?
Go and see if he's there.
Who?
There.
Yes.
What's he doing?
Talking.
To himself? Is he alone?
Not by himself. Coming this way, I think. Should we go?
Why? We're marked now?
For yourself, sir. As old as I am, it's like a crab you could go. Backward!
This be madness. There's method to it. We walk out of the air, my lord.
Into my grave.
Aye, that's out of the air. My lord, I will take my leave of you.
Oh, there is nothing you could take from me that I will more willingly part withal. Except my life. Except my life. Except my life.
Farewell, my lord. You go to seek Lord Hamlet. There he is.
God save you, sir.
My honored lord.
Oh, my most dear lord.
My excellent good friends, how dost thou, Guildenstern? Rosencrantz. Good lads, how do you both? $20, $40, $100 ducats apiece for his picture in Middle's blood. And there's something in this more than natural. Philosophy could find it out.
There are the players.
Stop! You are welcome to Elsinore. Your hands, come then. The department of welcome is all fashion and ceremony. Let me comply with you in this garb, lest my extent to the players, which I tell you must show surely outward, should appear more like welcome than yours. You are welcome. But my uncle, father, and aunt, mother are deceived.
In what, my dear lord?
I am but mad north-northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
Well be with you, gentlemen.
Mark you, Guildenstern, and you too, and each ear here. That great baby you see over there is not yet out of his swaddling clouds.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you. Ah! When Ross was an actor in Rome,
The actors are come hither, my lord.
buzz, buzz.
Yes?
What?
I thought you...
No. Well, I think we can say we made some headway.
You think so?
I think we can say that.
Well, I think we could say that he made us look ridiculous.
We played it close to the chest, of course.
Question and answer. Old ways are the best ones. He was scoring off us all down the line.
He might have caught us on the wrong foot once or twice, but I thought we gained some ground.
He murdered us.
He might have had the edge.
27-3, and you think he might have had the edge? Well, he murdered us.
What about our evasions?
Our evasions were lovely. Were you sent for, he says? My lord, we were sent for. I didn't know where to put myself.
He had 6 rhetoricals.
Question and answer already. 27 questions he got out in 10 minutes and answered 3. I was waiting for you to delve. When is he going to start delving, I asked myself.
And 2 repetitions.
Hardly a leading question between us.
Well, we got his symptoms, didn't we?
Half of what he said meant something else, and the other half didn't mean anything at all.
Thwarted ambition, a sense of grievance. That's my diagnosis.
6 rhetorical and 2 repetition, leading 19 of which he answered 15. And what did we get in return? Well, he's depressed. Denmark's a prison and he'd rather live in a nutshell. Some shadow play about the nature of ambition, which never got down to cases. And finally, one direct question, which might have led somewhere, and led in fact to his illuminating claim to tell a hawk from a handsaw.
When the wind is southerly.
Is that southerly?
Doesn't look southerly. What made you think so?
I didn't say I think so. It could be northerly for all I imagine.
I wouldn't have thought so.
If you're gonna be dogmatic.
Wait a minute. We came from roughly south, according to a rough map.
I see. Well, which way did we come in? Roughly.
In the morning, the sun would be easterly. I think we can assume that.
That's morning?
If it is, and the sun is over there, for instance, that would be northerly. On the other hand, if it is not morning, the sun is over there, that would still be northerly. To put it another way, if we came from down there and it is morning, the sun would be up there. And if it is not morning, the sun is over there, then we actually came from down there. And if that is southerly and the sun is actually over there, then it's the afternoon. However, if none of
Why don't you go and have a look?
Empiricism? Is that all you have to offer?
I merely suggest that the position of the sun, if it is out, would give you a rough idea of the time. And alternatively, the clock, if it is going, would give you a rough idea of the position of the sun. I forget which we're trying to establish.
I'm trying to establish the direction of the wind.
But there isn't any way to draft it.
In that case, the origin. Trace it to its source and might give us a rough idea of the way we came in, which might give us a rough idea of south, for further reference.
Well, it's coming up to the floor. That can't be south, can it?
That's not a direction. Lick your toe and wave it around a bit.
No, I think you'd have to lick it for me.
I'm prepared to let the whole matter drop.
Or yours, of course.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I could even wave it around a bit. What?
In God's name is the matter with you?
Just being friendly.
Somebody might come in. It's what we're out counting on, after all, ultimately.
Ah, yes. Yes, perhaps they've trampled each other to death in the rush. Give them a shout, something provocative, intrigue them.
Wheels have been set in motion, and they have their own pace, to which we are condemned. Each move is dictated by the previous one. That is the meaning of order. If we start being arbitrary, it'll just be a shambles. At least let us hope so. Because if we just happen to discover or even suspect that our spontaneity was a part of their order, we'd know we were lost. A Chinaman of the Tang Dynasty, and by which definition a philosopher, dreamed one day that he was a butterfly. And from then on, he was never quite sure he was not a butterfly, dreaming it was a Chinese philosopher. Envy him and his twofold security.
Fire!
Where?
It's all right. I'm just demonstrating the misuse of free speech to prove that it exists. Not a move. They should burn to death in their shoes.
What was it?
What?
Heads or tails?
No, I didn't look.
Yes, you did.
Did I? Quite right. Rings a bell.
What's the last thing you remember?
Oh, I don't wish to be reminded of it.
We cross our bridges when we come to them and burn them behind us with nothing to show for our progress, except for a memory of the smell of smoke and a presumption that once our eyes watered.
Nope. Double bluff.
Come, sirs.
We'll hear a play tomorrow. Gonzago?
Aye, my lord.
Well, had tomorrow night. You could, for need, study a speech of some, dozen or 16 lines that I would sit down and insert in it, could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. Follow that lord and look you. Mock him not. I leave you till tonight. You are welcome to Elsinore.
Good, my lord.
So, you've caught up.
Not yet, sir.
Now mind your tongue, we'll have it out and throw the rest of you away like a nightingale at a Roman feast.
Took the very words out of my mouth.
You'd be lost for
Could
words.
you be tongue-tied?
Like a mute in a
Oh,
monologue.
like a nightingale at a Roman
Your
feast.
diction will go to
Your
pieces.
lines will be cut.
It's dumb shows.
Dramatic pauses.
You'll never find your tongue.
Taste your lips.
Lick your lips.
Taste your tears.
Your breakfast
There won't be your breakfast, and there won't even be any.
took the very words out of my mouth.
So you've caught on. So you caught up.
Not yet. You left us.
Ah, I'd forgotten. You performed a dramatic spectacle on the road. Yes, I'm sorry we had to miss it.
We can't look each other in the face. You don't understand the humiliation of it. To be tricked out of the single assumption which makes our existence viable. But somebody is watching. There we were, demented children, mincing about in clothes that no one ever wore, speaking as no man ever spoke, throwing love in wigs and rhymed couplets, killing each other with wooden swords, hollow protestations of faith, hurled after empty promises of vengeance, and every gesture, every pose vanishing into the thin, unpopulated air. We ransomed our dignity to the clouds, and the uncomprehending birds listened. Don't you see? We're actors. We're the opposite of people. Think. Now, think in your head of the most private, secret, intimate thing you have ever done, secure in the knowledge of its privacy. Are you thinking of it? Well, I saw you do it.
Oh, you never. It's a lie.
We're actors. We pledged our identity secure in the convention of our trade that someone would be watching, and gradually, no one was. We were caught high and dry. It wasn't until the murderer's long soliloquy that we were able to look around, frozen as we were in profile. Our eyes searched you out first confidently, then hesitantly, then desperately, as every patch of turf, every log, every exposed corner in every direction proved uninhabited. All the while, the murderous king addressed the horizon with his dreary, interminable guilt. Our heads began to move wary as lizards. The corpse of unsullied Rosalinda peeped through his fingers, and the king faltered. Even then, habit and a stubborn trust that our audience spied upon us from behind the nearest bush forced our bodies to blunder on long after they had emptied of meaning, until like runaway carts they dragged to a halt. No one came forward. No one shouted at us. The silence was unbreakable. It imposed itself upon us. It was obscene. We took off our crowns and swords and cloths of gold and moved silent on the road to Elsinore.
Brilliantly recreated. If these eyes could weep. Rather strong on metaphor, mind you. No criticism, only a matter of taste. And so, here you are, with a vengeance. That's a figure of speech, isn't it? Well, let's say we've made up for it, seeing as how you can have no doubt whom to thank for your performance at the court.
We already have an entry here, and always have had.
You've played for him before.
Yes, sir.
What will you play?
The Murder of Gonzago,
Full of fine cadence and corpses.
pirated from the Italian.
What's it about?
It's about a king and a queen.
Escapism. What else?
Blood.
Love and rhetoric.
Yes.
Where are you going?
I can come and go as I please.
You're evidently a man who knows his way about.
I've been here before.
We're still finding our feet.
I should concentrate on not losing your heads.
You speak from knowledge?
Precedent.
You've been here before.
And I know which way the wind is blowing.
The truth is, we value your company for want of any other. We have been left so much to our own devices, after a while one welcomes the uncertainty of being left to other people's.
Uncertainty is the normal state. You're nobody special.
What are we supposed to do?
Relax. Respond. It's what people do.
But we
You
don't,
can't go about life questioning your situation at every turn.
but we don't know what's going on or what to do with ourselves. We don't know how to act.
Act natural. You know why you're here, at least.
We only know what we're told, and that's little enough. And for all we know, it isn't even true.
For all anyone knows, nothing is. Truth is only that which is taken to be true. It's the currency of living. There may be nothing behind it, but it does not matter so long as it is honored. One acts on assumptions. What do you assume?
Well, Hamlet's not himself. Outside or in, we have to glean what afflicts him.
He's melancholy.
Melancholy?
Mad.
How is he mad?
Ah. How is he mad?
More morose than mad, perhaps.
Melancholy.
Moody.
He has moods.
Of moroseness?
Madness. And yet,
Quite.
for instance,
He talks to himself, which might be a kind of madness.
if he didn't talk sense, which he does,
It's just the opposite.
Of what?
I think I have it. A man talking sense to himself is no madder than a man talking nonsense not to himself.
Or just as mad.
Or just as mad.
And Hamlet does talk to himself.
So there you are.
Stock raving sane.
Why?
Ah. Why?
Exactly.
Exactly what?
Exactly why?
Exactly why? What?
What?
Why?
Why what exactly?
Why is he mad?
I don't know.
Ah! The old man thinks he's in love with his daughter.
Oh, good God, we're out of our depths here.
No. He hasn't got a daughter. The old man thinks he's in love with his daughter.
The old man is?
Hamlet, in love with the old man's daughter, the old man thinks.
Ah! It makes sense now. Unrequited passion.
Nobody leaves this room without a very good reason.
Why not?
All this strolling about is getting too arbitrary by half. I am rapidly losing my grip. From now on, reason will prevail.
I have lines to learn.
Pass.
Next!
What did you expect?
Something. Someone. Nothing. Are you hungry?
No. Are you?
No. Remember that coin?
No.
I think I lost it.
What coin?
Can't remember exactly.
Oh, that coin. Clever.
Yes. I can't remember how I did it.
Do it again.
Well, we can't afford it.
Yes. One must think of the future.
It is the normal thing.
To have one. One is, after all, having one all the time. Now. And now. And now.
It can go on forever. Well, not forever, I suppose. Do you ever think of yourself as actually dead, lying in a box with a lid on it?
No.
Nor do I really. I mean, it's silly to be depressed by it. One thinks of it as being alive in a box. Yet one keeps forgetting to take into account the fact that one is dead. It should make all the difference, shouldn't it? I mean, you never know you were in a box. Just be like being asleep in a box. Not that I'd like to sleep in a box, mind you. Not without air. You wake up dead for a start, and then where would you be? Barking inside a box. That's the bit I don't like, frankly. And that's why I don't think of it. You'd be helpless, wouldn't you? Stuffed in that box. Even taking into account the fact that one is dead, it isn't a pleasant thought. Especially if one's dead. Ask yourself, if I ask you straight up, I'm in the stuffing this box now, would you rather be alive or dead? Naturally, I prefer to be alive. Life in a box is better than no life at all, I expect. There's a chance, at least. You could lie there thinking, well, at least I'm not dead. And in a minute, someone's going to bang on the lid and tell me to come out of there. Hey, you, what's your name? Come out of there!
Flog it to death.
I wouldn't think about it if I were you. You'd only get depressed. Eternity is a terrible thought. And where's it going to end? Two early Christians, chance meeting in heaven. Saul of Tarsus, yet cried the one, what are you doing here? Tarsus Marsus, I'm Paul already. They don't care. We count for nothing. We could stand here silent till we're green in the face, they wouldn't come.
Blue, red.
All right, we know you're in there. Come out talking. We have no control. None at all. Whatever became of that moment when one person knew about death? There must have been one, a moment in childhood when we first knew that we don't go on forever. It must have been shattering, stamped into one's memory, and I can't think of it. It never occurred to me at all. What does one make of that? We must be born with an intuition for mortality. Before we know the words for it, and before we even know there are words, out we come, bloody and strong, with the knowledge that for all the compasses in the world, there's only one direction, and time is its only measure. A Hindu, a Buddhist, and a lion tamer chance to meet in the circus of the Indo-Chinese border. They're taking us for granted, and I won't stand for it. Next time, notice will be taken. All right, I forbid anyone to enter. That's better.
Death followed by eternity. The worst of both worlds. It is a terrible thought.
Did he receive you well?
Most like a gentleman.
But with much forcing of his disposition.
Negative question, but of our demands most free in his reply.
Did you essay him to any pastime?
Madame, it so fell out that certain players we wrought on the way. Of these we told him there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it, because I think they already have ordered this knight to play before him.
'Tis most true, and he did beseech me to entreat your majesties to see and hear the matter.
With all my heart, and it doth content me to hear him so inclined. Good gentlemen, give him a further edge and drive his purpose into these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us too, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may hear affront Ophelia.
Never a moment's peace, on and off, in and out. They're coming at us from all sides.
You're never satisfied.
Catching us on the trot. Why can't we go by them?
What's the difference?
Well, I'm going. He's coming.
What's he doing?
Nothing.
He must be doing something.
Walking.
On his hands,
No, on his feet.
stark naked,
Fully dressed.
selling toffee apples.
Not that I noticed.
You could be wrong.
I don't think so.
Well, I can't for the life of me see how we're going to get any conversation.
Nevertheless, one might suppose this was a chance. One might well accost him. Yes, this definitely looks like a chance to me. Something on the lines of a direct, informal approach. Man to man, straight from the shoulder. Look here, what's it all about sort of thing. Something to be grabbed with both hands. I should say, if I were asked. No point in looking at the gift horse till you see the whites of his eyes. It comes to the point when we succumb to their personality. That's our problem. And then,
In thy horizons speak, all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
it's like living in a public park.
Yes, I thought your direct, informal approach was going to knock this thing dead in its tracks. If I might make a suggestion, Shut up and sit down. Stop being perverse.
Well, I'm not going to stand for it. I guess so.
Alfred! Right! We haven't got much time.
What are you doing here?
Dress rehearsal. Now, if you two just wouldn't mind moving back there. Good. Everyone ready? And for goodness sake, remember what we're doing. We always use the same costumes, more or less, and they forget what they're supposed to be in, you see. Stop picking your nose, Alfred. When queens do it, they do it through a cerebral process passed down in the blood. Good? Silence! Off we go.
All 30 times hath Phoebus's call.
No, dumb show first, your confounded majesty. They're a bit out of practice, but they always pick up wonderfully for the depths. It brings out the poetry in them.
How nice.
There's nothing more unconvincing than an unconvincing death.
I'm sure.
Act 1 moves now! It's a device, really. It makes the action that follows more or less comprehensible. You see, we're tied down to a language which makes up an obscurity but it lacks in style.
Who is that?
The king's brother and uncle to the prince.
Not exactly fraternal.
Not exactly avuncular at times.
Wonderful on this has made me mad! I say, we will have no more marriage. Those that are married already, all but one shall live. The rest, shall stay as they are. To a nunnery. Go!
All 30 times hath Phoebus's
Love! His affections do not that way tend. Or what he spake, though lack form a little, is not like madness. There's something in his soul, o'er which his melancholy sits unproved, and I do doubt the happening of this close will be some danger, which for to prevent I have thus set it down. Shall it speed to England?
Gentlemen! It doesn't seem to be coming. We're not getting it at all. What did you think?
What was I supposed to think?
You're not getting across.
That didn't look like love to me.
Starting from scratch again.
Act 2 position!
That wasn't the end.
You call that an ending? With practically everyone on his feet, my goodness, no, over your dead body! There's a design at work in all art. Surely you know that. Events must play themselves out to aesthetic, moral, and logical conclusions.
And what is that in this case?
It never varies. We aim at the point where all those who are marked for death die.
Marked?
Between just desserts and tragic irony, there's quite a lot of scope for our particular talent. Generally speaking, things have gone as far as they can possibly go. And things have gotten as bad as they can reasonably get.
Who decides?
Decides! It is written! We're tragedians, you see. We follow direction. There's no choice involved. The bad and unhappily, the good unluckily. That is what tragedy means. Positions! Go! Having murdered his brother and wooed the widow, the poisoner mounts the throne. Here we see him and his queen give rein to their unbridled passion. She was throwing hands to hold
Oh, I say, you can't do that.
Why not?
I mean, really, people come expecting to be entertained. They don't come expecting sordid and gratuitous filth.
You're wrong! They do! Murder, seduction, incest. What do you want? Jokes?
I want a good story with the beginning, middle, and end.
And you?
I prefer arts of real life if it's all the same to you.
It's all the same to me, sir. All right, no need to indulge yourselves. I come on in a minute. Lucianus, nephew to the king. Next! Lucianus, nephew to the king. Usurped by his uncle and shattered by his mother's incestuous marriage, throws the court into turmoil and disarray as he alternates between bitter melancholy and unrestricted lunacy, staggering between the suicidal to the homicidal. At last, we see him confront his mother in a scene of provocative ambiguity, where he begs her to repent and recant. The king, tormented by guilt, haunted by fear, decides to dispatch his nephew to England, entrusting this undertaking to two smiling accomplices, courtiers, friends, to two spies, giving them a letter to present before the English court. And so they depart on board ship. And arrive. And disembark, present themselves before the English king. The English king. But where is the prince? Where indeed? The plot has thickened. A twist of fate and cunning has put into their hands a letter that seals their deaths. Are you familiar with this play?
No.
The slaughterhouse. 8 corpses all told. It brings out the best in us.
What do you know about death?
It's what the actors do best. They have to exploit whatever talent is given to them, and their talent is dying. They can die heroically, comically, ironically, slowly, suddenly, disgustingly, charmingly, and from a great height. My own talent is more general. I extract significance from melodrama, a significance which does not in fact contain. But occasionally, from out of this matter, there escapes a thin beam of light, when seen at the right angle, can crack the shell of mortality.
The actors. The mechanics of cheap melodrama, that isn't death. You scream and choke and sink to your knees, but it doesn't bring home death to anyone. It doesn't catch them unawares and start to whisper in their skulls that says one day you are going to die. You die so many times, how can you expect them to believe in your death?
On the contrary, it's the only kind they do believe. They're conditioned to it. I had an actor once who was condemned to hang for stealing a sheep or a lamb, I can't remember which. So I got permission to have him hanged in the middle of a play. Thought it would be effective, you know, and you just wouldn't believe it. It just wasn't convincing. It was impossible to suspend one's disbelief. He just cried. Right out of character, just stood there and cried. Never again. Audiences know what to expect, and that is all that they're prepared to believe in. Show!
No. You got it all wrong. You can't act death. The fact of it has nothing to do with seeing it happen. It's not gasps and blood and falling about. It's just a man failing to reappear. That's all. Now you see him, now you don't. That's the only thing that's real. Here one minute, gone the next, and never coming back. Yeah. An exit. Unobtrusive and unannounced, a disappearance gathering weight as it goes on until finally it is heavy. With death.
That must be east then. I think we can assume that.
I'm assuming nothing.
Rings a bell.
They're waiting to see what we're going to do. Yeah, as soon as we make a move, they'll come pouring in from every side, shouting obscure instructions, confusing us with ridiculous remarks, messing us about from here to breakfast, and getting our names wrong.
Good old east.
Oh, Guildenstern!
You're wanted.
Friend spoke. Go join you with some further aid. Hamlet, in madness hath Polonius slain, and from his mother's closet hath he dragged him. Go, seek him out, speak fair, and bring the body into the chapel. I pray you haste in this. Come, Gertrude, we'll call up our wisest friends and let them know both what we mean to do.
Well.
Quite.
Well.
Quite. Seek him out, etc.
Quite.
Well, that's a step in the right direction.
You didn't like him?
Who?
Good God, I hope more tears are shed for us.
Well, it's progress, isn't it? Something positive. Seek him out. Where does one begin?
Well, that's a step in the right direction.
You think so? Could be anywhere.
All right. You go that way, I'll go this way.
What? Wait, no. You go that way, and I'll go this way.
All right.
Wait. I just thought we ought to stick together. He might be violent.
Good point. I'll come with you.
Wait, no. I'll come with you.
All right.
All right. Wait, no. I'll come with you my way.
All right.
All right. I just thought, if we both go, he could come here, and that would just be stupid, wouldn't it?
Good point.
Good point.
I'll stay, you go.
Right. I say, we ought to stick together. He might be violent.
Good point.
Good point.
Well, at last we're getting somewhere. Of course, he might not come.
Oh, he'll come.
We'd have some explaining to do.
Don't worry. Take my word for it. He'll come. He's coming.
What's he doing?
Walking.
By himself?
No.
Who's with him?
The old man.
Walking?
No.
Not walking.
No.
Well, that's an opening if there ever was one. Let him walk into the trap.
What trap?
You stand there. Don't let him pass.
That was close.
There's a limit to what two people can do.
He was dead.
Of course he was.
Properly.
Death's death, isn't it? Perhaps he'll come back this way. No. We can't learn by experience. What else have we got?
How about we give him a shout?
I thought we'd been into all that.
Lord Hamlet! Hamlet!
Don't
Lord
be
Hamlet!
absurd.
My lord, what have you done with the dead body?
Compounded it with dust. Where to 'tis kin?
Tell us where it is. That way we can take it thence and bear it to the chapel.
Oh, do not believe it!
I believe what?
That I can give your countenance and not mine own besides. To be demanded of a sponge, what replication should be made by the son of a king?
Take me for a sponge, my lord?
Aye, sir, that soaks up the king's countenance, his rewards, his authorities, but such offices do the king best service in the end. He keeps them, like an ink, in the corner of his jaw, first mouthed to be last swallowed. But when he needs what you have gleaned, when he has it, it is but squeezing you, and sponge you shall be dry again.
I understand you not, my lord.
I'm glad of it. A knavish speech sleeps in a foolish ear.
Well, take us where the body is and go with us to the king.
The body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. The king is a thing
A thing, my lord?
of nothing. Bring me to him.
How now? What hath befallen?
Where the body is bestowed, my lord, we cannot glean from him.
But where is he?
Without, my lord. Guarded to know your pleasure.
Bring him before us.
Yeah. Ho! Bring in the lord! All right then.
And yet it doesn't seem enough to have breathed such significance. Can that be all? And why us? Anybody would have done. And we have contributed nothing.
It was a trying episode while it lasted, but they've done with us now.
Done what?
I don't pretend I've understood. Frankly, I'm not very interested. If they won't tell us, that's their affair. For my part, I'm only glad that's the last we've seen of him.
I know it wasn't the end.
What else?
We're taking him to England. What's he doing?
He's talking.
To himself? Is he alone?
No, he's with a soldier.
And he's not talking to himself, is he?
Not by himself. Should we go?
Where?
Anywhere.
Why?
There it is again. Us hanging about till we're dead. At least. The weather will change. The spring can't last forever.
Good sir, whose powers are these?
They're of Norway, sir.
Oh, and how purpose, sir, I pray you.
Against some part of Poland.
And who commands them, sir?
The nephew to old Norway, Fortinbras.
It will be cold. The summer won't last.
It's autumnal.
No leaves.
Autumnal. It's nothing to do with leaves. It is to do with a certain brownness at the edges of the day. Brown is creeping up on us, take my word for it. Russets and tangerine shades of old gold flushing the very outside edge of the senses. Deep shining ochres, burnt umber, and parchments of baked earth, reflecting on itself and through itself, filtering the light. At such times, perhaps, coincidentally, leaves might fall somewhere by repute. Yesterday was blue like smoke.
There it is
Thank you,
again.
sir.
God by you, sir.
Will it please you go, my lord?
I'll be with you straight. Go you a little before.
Is he there?
Yes.
What's he doing?
Talking.
To himself?
Yes. He said we can go. Cross my heart.
I like to know where I am. Even if I don't know where I am, I like to know that. If we go, there's no knowing.
No knowing what?
If we'll ever come back.
We don't want to come back.
That very well may be true, but do we want to go?
We'll be free.
I don't know. It's the same sky.
We've come this far. And besides, anything could happen yet.
Are you there?
Where?
Flying to start.
Is that you?
Yes.
How do you know?
For God's sakes.
We're not finished then.
Well, we're here, aren't we?
Are we? I can't see a thing.
You can still think, can't you?
I think so.
You can still talk.
What should I say?
Don't bother. You can feel, can't you?
Ah, there's life in me yet.
What are you feeling?
A leg. Yes, it feels like my leg.
How does it feel?
Dead.
Dead?
I can't feel a thing.
Give it a pinch.
Sorry.
Well, that's cleared that up.
Let's go to the stage! Keep her steady on fire away! Be ready!
Ah, we're on a boat. Dark, isn't it?
Not for night.
No, not for night.
Dark for day.
Oh, yes, it is dark for day.
We must have gone north, of course.
Off course?
Land of the midnight sun, that is.
Of course. Oh, I think it's getting lighter.
Not for night,
This far north.
unless we're off course.
Of course. Yes, it's lighter than it was. It'll be night soon this far north. Well, I suppose we'll just have to go to sleep.
Tired?
No. I don't think I'd take to it.
Sleep all night, can't see a thing all day.
Those Eskimos must have a quiet life.
Where?
What?
I thought you... I've lost all capacity for disbelief. I'm not even sure I could rise to a little gentle skepticism.
Nice bit of planking, that.
Yes. I'm very fond of boats myself. I like the way they're contained. You don't have to worry about which way to go or whether to go at all. The question doesn't arise because, well, you're on a boat, aren't you? Boats are safe areas in the game of tag. Players will hold their positions until the music starts. I think I'll live most of my life on boats.
Very healthy.
One is free on a boat. For a time, relatively.
What's it like?
Rough.
Oh, I think I'm gonna be sick.
Other side, I think. Free to move, extemporize, and yet we have not been cut loose. Our truancy is defined by one fixed star, and our drift represents merely a slight change of angle to it. We can seize the moment, toss around while the moments pass, a short dash here, an exploration there, but we are brought round full circle to face the single immutable fact that we, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, bearing a letter from one king to another, are taking Hamlet to England.
For sake, he's there.
What's he doing?
Sleeping.
Oh, it's all right for him.
What is?
He can sleep. It's all right for him.
Him?
He's got us now.
He can sleep.
We've got nothing.
He's got us and we've got nothing. But now,
What do you mean?
Well, nothing's happening.
We're on a boat.
I'm aware of that.
What did you expect? We act on scraps of information. Sifting half-remembered directions we can hardly separate from instinct. You had money in both hands.
Yes.
Every time?
Yes.
What's the point of that?
I wanted to make you happy.
How much did he give you?
Who?
The king. He gave us some money.
How much did he give you?
I asked you first.
I got the same as you.
And you wouldn't discriminate between us.
How much did you get?
The same.
How do you know?
You just told me. How do you know?
I wouldn't discriminate between us.
Even if he could,
But you never could.
he couldn't even be sure of mixing us up.
Without mixing us up.
Why don't you say something original? No wonder the whole thing's so stagnant. You never take me up on anything. You just repeat it in a different order.
Well, I can't think of anything original. I'm only good in support.
I'm sick of making the running.
Must be your dominant personality. What's going to become of us?
Don't cry. There. I'll see we're all right.
But we've got nothing to go on. We're on our own.
We're going to England. We're taking Hamlet there.
What for?
What for? Where have you been?
We won't know we won't know what to do when we get there.
We take him to the king.
Will he be there?
No, the king of England.
He's expecting us.
No.
He won't know what we're playing at. What are you going to say?
We've got a letter. You remember the letter.
Do I?
Everything is explained in the letter. We count on that.
And what then?
What?
Well, we take Hamlet to the English king, we hand over the letter. What then?
There may be something in the letter to keep us going for a bit.
And if not?
Then that's it. We're finished.
At a loose end.
Yes.
Are there likely to be loose ends? Who is the English king?
That depends on when we get there.
And what do you think it says?
Oh. Greetings, expressions of loyalty, asking of favors, calling in of debts, obscure promises, balanced by vague threats, diplomacy, regards to the family.
And about Hamlet.
Oh, yes.
And us, the full background.
I should say so.
So we've got a letter that explains everything.
You got it. What's the matter?
The letter.
Have you got it?
Have I? Where would I have put it?
You can't have lost it.
I must have.
That's odd. I thought he gave it to me.
Perhaps he did.
But you seem so sure it was you who hadn't got it.
It was me who hadn't got it.
But if the king gave it to you, then there's no reason why you should have. King gave it to me, then there's no reason why you should have it in the first place. In which case, I don't see what all the fuss is about. You not having it.
I admit it's confusing.
This is all getting rather undisciplined. You know, the boat, the night, the sense of isolation and uncertainty. All these induce a loosening of the concentration. We must not lose control. Tighten up now. Either you have lost the letter, or you never had it to lose in the first place, in which case the king never gave it to you, in which case he gave it to me, in which case I would have put it into my inside top pocket, in which case it is right here. We mustn't drop off like that again.
Now that we've found it, why were we looking for it?
We thought it was lost.
Something else?
Nope.
Well, and now we've lost the tension.
What tension?
What was the last thing I said before we wandered off?
When was that?
Can't remember.
What a shambles! We're just not getting anywhere.
Not even England.
What?
England!
Just a conspiracy of cartographers, you mean?
I try to picture us arriving. A little harbor, say, and roads, and inhabitants to point the way, horses on the roads, and
traveling for a day or a fortnight, and then the palace and the English king. That would be the logical kind of thing, but no, my mind remains blank. No, 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 we're slipping off the map.
Yes, yes. But you never believe anything till it happens. And it has all happened, hasn't it?
We drift down time, clutching at straws, but what good's a brick to a drowning man?
Don't give up. We can't be long now.
We might as well be dead. Do you think that death could possibly be a boat?
No. Death is not. Death isn't. You take my meaning? Death is the ultimate negative. Not being. You can't not be on a boat.
I've frequently not been on boats.
What you've been is not on boats.
Wish I were dead. I could jump over the side. That'll put a spoke in there.
Unless they're counting on it.
I shall remain on board. That'll put a spoke in there. All right. We don't question, we don't doubt, we perform. But a line must be drawn, and I would like to put it on record that I have no confidence in England. Thank you. And even if it were to, it'd just be another shambles.
I don't see why.
He won't know what we're talking about. What are you going to say?
We say we have arrived.
And who are you?
We are Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Never heard of you.
Well, we're nobody special.
What's your game?
We've had our instructions.
First I've heard of it.
Let me finish. We've come from Denmark.
What do you want?
Nothing. We're delivering Hamlet.
Who's he?
You've heard of him.
I've heard of him, all right, and I want nothing to do with it. But you march in here without so much as a by your leave, and you expect me to take in every lunatic you try to pass on a lot of unsubstantiated...
We got a letter.
Oh. A letter. I see. Yes, this seems to support your story, such as it is. It is an exact command from the King of Denmark, importing England's health and Denmark's too. Upon the reading of this letter, without delay, I should have Hamlet's head cut off. Sun's going down. It'll be dark soon.
Do you think so?
I was just making conversation. We're his friends.
How do you know?
From our young days, brought up with him.
You've only got their word for it.
But that's what we depend on.
Well, yes, and then again, no. Let us keep things in proportion. Assume, if you like, that they're going to kill him. Well, he is a man. He is mortal. That comes to us all, etc. Consequently, he would have died anyway, sooner or later. Or to look at it from the social point of view. He's just one man among many. The loss would be well within reason and convenience. And then again, what is so terrible about death? As Socrates so philosophically put it, since we don't know what death is, it is illogical to fear it. It might be very nice. Certainly it is a release from the burden of life, and for the godly, a haven and a reward. Or to look at it another way, we are little men. We don't know the ins and outs of the matter. There are wheels within wheels, etc. It would be presumptuous of us to interfere with the designs of fate, or even of kings. All in all, I think we'd be well advised to leave well alone.
But what's the point?
Don't apply logic.
He's done nothing to us.
Or justice.
It's awful.
But it could have been worse. I was beginning to think it was.
Okay. The positions I see it then. We, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, from our young days brought up with him, awakened by a man, standing on his saddle, and are summoned and arrive and are instructed to glean what afflicts him and draw him onto pledges, such as the plague, which unfortunately, as it turns out, is abandoned just owing to certain nuances outside of our appreciation, which, among other causes, results in, among other effects, a high, not to say homicidal excitement in Hamlet, whom we, in consequence, are escorting for his own good to England. Good, we're on top of it now.
Here we go.
Yes, but what?
Out of the void, finally a sound. Go and see what it is.
I thought I heard a band.
Aha! All on the same boat then. Everybody out! Where are we?
Traveling.
Right, we're not there yet.
Well, are we all right for England?
You look all right to me. I don't think they're very particular in England. Alfred!
What are you doing?
Traveling! Everyone, blend into the background. Pleased to see us. You've come out very well so far.
You?
In this favor, our play offended the king.
Yes.
He's a second husband himself. Tactless, really.
It was quite a good play, nevertheless.
We never really got going. It was getting quite interesting when they stopped it. Now that's the way to travel.
What were you doing in there?
Hiding! We had to run for it just as we were.
Stowaways?
Naturally, we didn't get paid owing to circumstances ever so slightly beyond our control, and all the money we lost betting on certainties. Life is a gamble at terrible odds. If it were a bet, you wouldn't take it. Did you know any number doubled is even?
Is it?
We learn something new every day to our cost, but we troopers must go on and on. Do you know what happens to old actors?
Oh, what?
Nothing. They're still acting! Surprised then.
What?
Surprised to see us.
I knew it wasn't the end.
What do you make of it so far?
We haven't got much to go on.
You speak to him.
It's possible.
But it wouldn't make any difference.
But it's possible.
Pointless.
It's allowed.
Allowed, yes. We are not restricted. No boundaries have been defined, no inhibitions imposed. We have, for the while, secured or rather blundered into our release. Spontaneity and whim are order of the day. We can breathe, we can relax, we can do what we like and say what we like to whomever we like, without restriction.
Within limits, of course.
Certainly, within limits.
A compulsion towards philosophical introspection is his chief characteristic, if I might put it like that. It does not mean he is mad. Does not mean he isn't. Very often does not mean anything at all, which may or may not be a kind of madness.
It really boils down to symptoms. Pregnant replies, mystic illusions, mistaken identities, arguing his father is his mother, that sort of thing. Intimations of suicide, foregoing of exercise, loss of mirth, hints of claustrophobia, not to say delusions of imprisonment, invocations of camels, chameleons, capons, whales, weasels, hawks, handsaws, riddles, quibbles, and evasions, amnesia, paranoia, myopia, daydreaming, hallucinations, stabbing his elders, abusing his parents, insulting his lover, and appearing hatless in public. Knock-kneed, droop-stockinged, and sighing like a lovesick schoolboy. Which at his age is coming on a bit strong.
And talking to himself.
And talking to himself.
Yes. Incidents. All we get is incidents. Dear God, is it too much to ask for just a little sustained action? I say, that was close. You're gone. I've never thought quicker.
Once more alone. On our own resources.
What do you mean? Where's he?
Gone.
Gone where?
Yes, we were dead lucky there. That's the word I'm after.
Dead.
Lucky.
Hey, is he dead?
Who knows?
He's not coming back.
Hardly.
Oh, then he's dead, isn't he? He's dead as far as we're concerned.
Or we are as far as he is. Not too bad, is it?
But he can't. We're supposed to be. We've got a letter that. We're going to England with a letter for the king that.
Yes! That much seems certain. I congratulate you on the unambiguity of your situation.
You don't understand. It contains. We've had our instructions. The whole thing is pointless without him.
Pirates could happen to anyone. Just deliver the letter. They'll send ambassadors from England to explain.
And then can't you see that the pirates left us home and high? Dry and home. Drome! The pirates left us high and dry.
There.
Nothing will be resolved without him.
There.
We need Hamlet for our release.
There.
What are we supposed to do?
This.
Saved again.
Saved for what?
The sun's going down. It'll be night soon. I think that's west, unless we...
Shut up! I'm sick of it. You think conversation is going to help us now? We've traveled too far and our momentum has taken over. We drift idly towards eternity without possibility of reprieve or hope of explanation.
Be happy. You're not even happy. What's so good about surviving? We'll be all right. I suppose we'll just go on.
Go where?
England.
England. That's a dead end. I never believed in it anyway.
All we gotta do is make our report, and that'll be that. Surely.
I mean, I don't believe it. Ashore, a harbor say, and we get off and we ask someone, hey, where's the king? And he says, oh, you take that road there and you take the first left. I don't believe any of it.
Doesn't sound very plausible.
And even if we do come face to face, what do we say?
We say we've arrived.
And who are you?
We are Guildenstern and Rosencrantz.
Rich is rich.
No, you're... And
What's it all about?
We'll bring Hamlet and some pirates.
I don't
in.
begin to understand. Who are all these people? What's it got to do with me? You come in here with some cock and bullshit.
We have a letter.
A letter?
Yes, a letter.
Yes, that's true. That's something. A letter. As England is Denmark's faithful tributary, as love between them like the palm might flourish, that's on the knowing of this contents, without delay of any kind, should those bearers, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, be put to sudden death.
They've gone. It's all over.
Where we went wrong was getting on a boat. We can move, of course, change direction, rattle about, but our movement is contained within a larger one that carries us along as inexorably as the wind and current.
had interest, didn't they? Right from the beginning. They thought that we were so important.
But why? Was it all for this? Who are we that so much should converge on our little debts? Who are we?
You are Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. That's enough.
No, it is not enough to be told so little to such an end, and to still finally be denied an explanation.
In our experience, most things end in death.
Your experience. Actors. I'm talking about death. And you never experienced that. And you cannot act it. You die 1,000 casual deaths. And no blood runs cold anywhere because you know even as you die that you'll come back in a different hat. But no one gets up after death. There's no applause. There's only silence and some second-hand clothes, and that's death! If we had a destiny, then so had he. And if this is ours, then that was his. And if there be no explanations for us, then let there be none for him.
For a moment, you thought I cheated.
Very good, very good. Didn't he take you in completely? He took me in completely. Encore.
Yes! For all ages and occasions. Death by suspension, convulsion, consumption, incision, execution, asphyxiation, and malnutrition. Climactic carnage by poison and by steel. Double deaths by duel. Show! There's an end to that. It's commonplace. Light goes with life, and in the winter of your years, the dark comes early.
No, not for us. Not like that. Dying is not romantic. Death is not a game which will soon be over. Death is not anything. Death is not. It's the absence of presence, nothing more. The endless time of never coming back. A gap you can't see, and when the wind blows through it, it makes no sound.
That's it then, is it? Huh. The sun's going down, or the earth's coming up, as the fashionable theory has it. Not that it makes any difference. What was it all about? When did it begin? Couldn't we just stay put? I mean, no one's gonna come on and drag us off. We'll have to wait. We're still young, fit. We've got years. We've done nothing wrong. We didn't harm anyone. Did we?
I can't remember.
All right then. I don't care. I've had enough. To tell you the truth, I'm relieved.
Our names shouted in a certain dawn. A message, a summons. There must have been a point somewhere where we could have said, no. Somehow we missed it. Rosencrantz? Guildenstern? Well, we'll know better next time. Now you see me, now you...
The sight is dismal, and our affairs from England came too late. The ears are senseless that should give us hearing, to tell him his commandment is fulfilled, that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Where shall we have our thanks? Not from his mouth had it the ability of life to thank you. He never gave commandment for their death. But since, so jump upon this bloody question, you from the Pall of Wars and you from England are here arrived. Give order that these bodies, high on a stage, be placed into the view. And let me speak to the yet unknowing world how these things came about. So shall you hear of carnal, bloody, and unnatural acts, of accidental judgments, casual slaughters, of deaths brought on by cunning and forced cause. And in this upshot, purposes mistook, fallen on the inventors' heads. All this can I truly deliver.